I'm Larry Menti. Welcome back to Jersey Matters. I want to introduce you to Russ Zimmer, who is a reporter at the Asbury Park Press, and he's been covering a series of stories related to Hurricane Sandy, and this most recent one is a fascinating one. Although disturbing, it's people, well, literally losing their homes now, years after Hurricane Sandy.
That's correct. Larry, what we're looking at is the relationship between foreclosures and homes that were previously affected by Sandy. This kind of had its genesis, from conversations I've had with Sandy victims over the past several months, indicating that they have really pretty much just drained their finances, paying their mortgage, paying the rent for their rental homes because they can't live in their Sandy damaged homes because they haven't been able to rebuild them yet. And basically they're exhausting their savings just trying to keep a roof over their head.
So just so make sure I got it. So these are homes that may not even exist, or at least are being rebuilt, and it's taken all this time to rebuild them. They're still paying the mortgage on those homes. Then they have to find temporary housing, which turned into a longer stay than they expected to be. And there's no money for them? There's no money to, there's money to rebuild the house, right? That's it, though.
There is, there's the REM program is a program you hear about a lot that the state administers with federal money. But that money is just to rebuild. It's not to help people in between being able to move back home and where they're at now.
So they could use money for two different things. One is for the temporary housing, but I thought there was money for temporary housing.
There was there was a program. It's the SHRAP program. That's the acronym for it. That people were given 6 months of assistance that they could use to pay a mortgage or pay rent. Was that a federal program? That was administered by the state. It was part of the disaster relief money, though.
Okay.
And so
they just ran out?
But they had to cut off the number of applicants, the number of people enrolled in the program, because they were running out of money. They wanted to make sure that they could provide for everybody who was already in the program. So they cut off applications there. So that money's gone. But your point about there being funds for this type of problem, they do exist. I think if you talk to the long-term recovery groups, the county level organizations, they would tell you that they spend a great deal of their resources and time trying to help people find housing, temporary housing, while their home is being rebuilt.
Well, that's all fine and good, but you're saying that houses are being foreclosured on. How many?
Well, we're still trying to nail that down, but our count right now is about 350 homes in 2014 in Monmouth and Ocean counties went into foreclosure. Those homes were inside the FEMA designated Sandy flood zone. So these were homes that were affected by Sandy in some fashion. They might not necessarily have been destroyed, but they were affected in some fashion. And they started the foreclosure process last year. So it's 350 homes. If
there's all this money, and you're saying there is money to rebuild the homes still, and if there's all this money to rebuild the homes, why are people put in this position? How come it's taking so long to rebuild these homes?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. There's just a great deal of red tape that is sort of preventing the money from getting to where it needs to be. Everybody wants the money to be spent correctly. They don't want the money to be misused. And it's just, it seems like they're having a really hard time finding a balance between getting the money out quickly, getting it where it needs to go quickly, and making sure that it's not being misused.
And there's nobody that you've talked to that says, oh my God, here's a problem, we have all this money, I think we have to redirect money to help these people.
Well, I think there's a number of organizations that would love to have more flexibility. I'm sure the state would tell you they would love to have more flexibility with how they can spend this money. But it's just not there. I mean, there's rules in place for how the money is to be used, and there's good reasons for those rules. Again, it seems like it's just an issue of, just having to juggle the responsibility to spend the money correctly and the responsibility to make sure that you're helping people, which was the whole purpose of the funding to begin with.
Russ,
Right.
thank you so much. We'll keep following your stories. Russ Zimmer from the Asbury Park Press. You can read his stories, one of the ones we're just talking about, on app.com. We'll be back in just a moment with a very impressive high school senior who is trying to change the reputation of the Sayreville football team when Jersey Matters continues.